Welcome back to Weird Canadian Kid Shows. I'm very excited about this episode because I've been wanting to talk about this show for a very long time. It's the Snailympics, or the Snailympics. Yeah, I don't think there's an O in there. I had a hell of a time finding this one. Even before doing these videos, this was a show that I was trying to find. I remember it being on Teletoon. I couldn't remember what it was called. I think for the longest time I thought they were worms, so I kept on looking up Worm Olympics and Wormlympics. And I think actually somebody commented on a previous Weird Canadian Kid Shows what I was looking for because I made a plea asking if anybody even had an idea of what I was talking about. So thank you, whoever you are, for suggesting Snailympics. I feel like I could have found it if I tried a little bit harder, but maybe not, because it's quite elusive. There is zero trivia about this show on IMDb. There isn't a Wikipedia page, and as far as I can tell, there's not a lot of content for it online. I was able to find some stuff on YouTube. Most of what I found was in Spanish. I did find one full episode or compilation of episodes in English, and I will be referencing the first episode that I watched in that. So thank you for uploading an English episode of Snailympics. I'll put a little thing right here, I'll fill the screen with you. This is awesome. I'm so excited. The theme song, bit of a banger. Can't go wrong with a good theme song. But we got a little bit of a ding right out the gate. The lack of synchronization of the mouths.
Sure, I'm here, and hey, guess what? All the snails here are blue. He says all the snails there are blue. That's it, he's gone nuts.
Now, I know that this is stop motion animation, so, that's tough to do, is to make the mouths look like they're saying the words. So I'm not going to harp on you too much, Snailympics, because that's a tough task, but I feel like I gotta mention it just because it's one of those uncanny valley things that always affects me. I'm always like, oh my god, they're talking, but their mouths are just going crazy. The show is a Canadian-Spanish production. What up, Spain? Nice to see ya. Thank you for bringing us this show. And now I'm at a crossroads here. I could look at this episode that I'm talking about today in particular, and look at it earnestly and wholeheartedly, and see that it is an episode about racism and not being racist. Don't be racist, it's bad. Basically, a blue snail, they do like an athlete swap, and one of the green snails goes to, I guess, the blue snail country, and then the blue snails send a blue snail back to the green snail country. It's like an athlete swap. And so all of the snails are now faced with the blue snail that they didn't even think could exist. They were like, what, blue snails? Which I think is bizarre, because if you're an Olympian, I think you would at the very least, even a snail Olympian, at the very least would be aware of other races existing, but even their Science Geek one is like, there's like a 1 in a million chance that blue snails even exist.
Is there really such a thing as blue snails?
I'd put the odds against their existence at about 1 billion to 9.
And so the blue snail shows up and they're racist. And so I have a choice. I could either sit here and talk about how, oh yeah, this is a really good thing to teach kids. Don't be racist. Don't judge people just because they look different. Or I can play dumb. I can either chastise the green snails for being horrible bigots, or I can play even dumber and sympathize with the green snails and do a whole little bit for the rest of this episode about how blue snails are bad. I can't believe Coach brought a blue snail into that fucking gym. This is a sacred place. That court is for green snails only. Yeah, so they're just horrible, racist green snails.
What are you doing, Tito? Hurry up, we're waiting.
I mean, eventually they come around. It's a good lesson to teach kids, all jokes aside. Anyways, yeah, don't be racist. Don't be a bigot. Snailympics, I guess, genuinely was trying to have a good message to teach kids there. Yeah, check it out. Like I said, if you speak Spanish or English, there's episodes on YouTube. And thanks for watching this episode of Weird Canadian Kid Shows. I will catch you on the next one.